things can literally shift for you in a blink of an eye. And I think people don't understand this because, when someone is used to maybe things not working out or just things going wrong, it's so hard for you to think that something good is going to come out of it. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I was watching a video and someone was basically saying about how like it takes like just that one email, it takes that one communication for things to like move forward in terms of like, let's just say career or anything like that, or what you're expecting. Maybe it's good news, and people don't understand because you can sleep and then wake up to the good news. A few months ago, I honestly just did not see the way forward. Like I just thought like, when is it going to happen? When is what I wanted? When is it going to happen? And people don't understand that like it really can happen in a second. And the reason why I'm saying this is that like for you to consistently believe in what you want, and if you're not spiritual, it's okay, but I still believe this. I feel like there's this thing where like if you're constantly like praying for something, or if you're constantly believing for something, I feel like there are times when you will actually like face pushbacks, where like whenever you're about to like get it, or not even when you're about to get it, like you get like maybe limiting beliefs or just doubts creeping in, and then you're just like, oh, is it gonna happen? Are you ever gonna get what you want? And it's just so easy to fall into it, especially if you're someone that like in the past you wanted something and maybe you feel like you didn't get it. So your brain is probably thinking like, what makes you think you're going to get it this time? What makes you think it's going to work out? And that's the thing with the brain. The brain likes to play mind tricks, and if you're not careful, you're going to fall for that mind tricks. You're going to fall for that doubt. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I do sometimes, even though I feel like I've gone further down my journey in terms of like my belief system, how I've changed my belief system, I still feel like there are times, a lot of times, where when the doubts creep in, I still entertain that, that negative thought. And like, of course, what humans, and times like that will happen. But I think at the end of the day, you have to realize that like these are just your past experiences trying to intervene or interfere into what's actually coming for you, the good things that you want. And it's just so easy to entertain it because like I was speaking to one of my friends the other day, and we're basically talking about how like once you get into the cycle, not even cycle, once you entertain one negative thought, it feels like more negative thoughts just tend to come in, and then you're just like, oh, you just start becoming a victim, and you're just like, oh yeah, it's never going to happen anyway. What makes you think? Because now you've put yourself in that vibration, or you've put yourself in that energy where it feels like now that's what you'll be thinking about, and then your brain just continuously entertain that, and then it's now up to you for you to be like, no, actually, what if it does work out? And one thing that's actually helped me out in the past is that sometimes it's not even you saying that it's going to work out, that it's going to help. It's you just asking yourself like, what if it works out? Like, what if it does work out? And I think you just questioning your brain, it kind of like stops the is it like it stops the cycle basically, because it kind of interferes in between that negative thoughts, because your brain is like, oh, okay, this is something different from what we've been thinking about in the past few minutes. So when you're like, oh, what if it works out, what if it goes well, then your brain starts to like question. And the thing is that your brain doesn't, I don't know if this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but like psychology or something like that, I saw a video and the person was basically saying that like, if you ask your mind something, your mind can't your mind can't give you the answer. So your mind has no choice but to basically stop and basically try to think for an answer, if you get what I'm saying. So your mind can give you an answer, but when you ask your mind or your brain that, okay, what if it works out, what's next, your brain of course can answer that, which means that it puts a stop to that negative cycle. And that's why there's like this advice that whenever you're thinking negatively or you're doubting, just ask your brain like, what if it does work out, or what's going to happen if this, what's next, or what's the worst that can happen, those kind of thing, or what if the best happens. Of course, don't say what. When I'm saying what's the worst that can happen, it's like, sometimes you're thinking you want to do something and you're just thinking like, oh my god, what if it goes wrong really badly, like what if it's the worst. And the thing is that we're humans and we tend to just ask questions about the worst. Like we tend to think the worst way ever. Like I have this, I'm working on it, this like bad habit of me jumping into conclusion or me just thinking the worst of the situation. Like it's so bad. I've stopped doing it now because I've been trying to do it. I won't say like, oh, I've stopped permanently. Of course, like there are times when I'm just thinking like, oh, what if this bad thing is happening? But even though like, of course it's not true, but my mind, that's the first thing my mind is thinking of. And that's where you have to say like, no, like what if the best happens? Because at the end of the day, oh, I remember the point I was trying to make. But like when I meant what I meant by what's the worst that can happen is that, like, there are times when you want to like maybe do something, you want to apply for something, you want to apply or audition for something that millions of people are applying for, and your brain is like, oh, let's not do it, like there's no point. And I think I mentioned it in one of my video about like chickening out because of competitions, and your brain is just like, oh, there's just a lot of people applying, there's a lot of people auditioning, and of course your brain wants to like keep you safe. So the first thing it's asking you is like, the first thing it's telling you is that there's no point, don't bother applying, don't bother sending the audition or whatever. But then this is where you have to like ask your brain like, what's the worst that can happen? And then you're showing your brain that the worst that can happen is not even that bad to you. To your brain is trying to protect you. But when you actually think logically and explain to your brain logically the worst that can happen, it kind of reduces the negative impact that your brain thinks you're going to have from trying to do that thing. So you get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, what is the worst that can happen? If your brain starts to think that, oh, don't take the chance, you just like, what's the worst that can happen? Well, you don't get in, you don't get the opportunity. Okay, life moves on, and then well, you find a better opportunity. So it's like, you have to ask your brain, whenever your brain is just thinking like, oh, it's not going to work out, this and that, you have to ask your brain like, okay, what if it does work out? And then your brain might start to like, pause, and now you're forcing yourself to think in the positive way, like, okay, what if it does work out? Maybe I'm going to pack my bags and or I'm going to do this. It kind of gives your brain something new to think about, to wonder about, to be curious about. So it's just like yeah, it's just one of those things where it's up to you as well to like just keep the faith and keep believing, even though like it's so, sometimes I'm not going to lie to you, like, whenever I'm coming here to tell you guys, I will tell you, like, let's be honest, like life sometimes can be a word, a bitch. And like, it's, even though you want to keep having faith or believing in what you want, sometimes it's hard to believe in it because you see, you might see the opposite of what you want, or things might not have arrived yet, and you're just doubting, and you're, especially if you're someone who believe in, like, I don't know, manifestations, prayer, or just having faith that things will work out for you. I think it can be hard sometimes to believe and have faith that something is going to work out. But I think it's just about you persevering, because at the end of the day, you have to think that, is it better for you to believe that something is going to work out, or is it better for you to stay in that negative thoughts? Because you staying in the negative what's it called, negative space of mind, is literally the worst possible option you can do for yourself. Because one, if you're constantly thinking negatively about a situation, first of all, you're not really sending the positive energy into the universe. Two, you're also causing depression for yourself as well, and you're just putting yourself in a very low vibration where you don't even feel encouraged to try again or to go after something. Like, sometimes when something doesn't work out and you're so focused on why it didn't work out, you're just so sad about it. Of course, when something doesn't work out, it's okay for you to feel your emotions and be sad about it. But I think sometimes people just dwell on it so much to the extent that like a new or better opportunity might come your way, and then you just miss that because you're so focused on what's it called, I don't know if you guys read tarot or something, but the card that came to my mind is, in tarot there's this card called the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is basically a card where, like, in the card, it shows this person sitting down, and there's three cups, there are three cups in front of him, and then it's like there's an aunt giving him a fourth cup, but it was so focused on the three cups that's empty, like, and just not focusing on the new fulfilling cups that like the universe or God is trying to give him. And basically what that cup is trying to say is that, like, don't be so focused on what did not work out or what is wrong in your life that you end up missing out on a new thing or something better than that I mean, something better than you already lost. You get what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of times people just focus on what did not work out or what's going wrong, and they just keep themselves in that negative mindset. And I'm telling you, a lot of times as well, it's just about you just waking up with a positive attitude. And I'm telling you, like, it does work. In the past few days, I've just made an habit, like, even though there are times when you wake up and you're feeling some type of way, I've just made an habit to just basically say that, like, you know what, today's gonna be a great day. And that day actually ends up becoming so much better because I mean, you wake up with a positive attitude. It's not with the, oh, like, oh, it might not work out, what's gonna happen today, oh, I can't be bothered. You know, of course, if you're waking up and treating your life that way, then you won't actually be able to pick up on good things happening around you. So it's just a thing of, like, you know, you having that positive attitude and just believing and constantly, like, it's also about consistently training your brain and choosing to believe that is going to work out. It's like you have to choose to believe it, because I think I said in my previous video, the brain is so funny, or should I say the mind. It's so funny because it's like the brain will pick up, the brain will use what happened like few years ago to continuously use to try to determine what's going to happen next. Like, let's just say maybe you had an outbreak from years ago. Your brain is literally going to tell you that the next, what's it called, someone who's actually serious about you wants to hurt you or wants to break your heart. Like, that's how the brain works, even though you know that's not the truth. But because your nervous system, your brain is used to that, so it's trying to like push, like continuously like lead you to that, even though it's not like, I don't know how to, it's like your brain is like trying to predict what's going to happen based on what happened before. So it's now up to you for you to retrain your mind to be like, okay, you know what, it's going to work out this time, things are going to be better this time, you know, things are different this time. It's just up to you to constantly basically do that, you know. And yeah, so it's like when you constantly do that, you won't know. You just wake up one day and you'll notice that things have literally changed around you. And there's this saying that sometimes you don't see the changes until you know, you get to the destination. So it's like there's this saying where it's like, you know, you don't know how far you've come on your journey until you get to your destination. And you do have to understand that, like, you know, when you constantly speak positive thoughts, I mean, think positive things, or you're, you know, just trying to believe, it might, I don't know, you might not see the seeds at the moment, you might not see the result at the moment, and it might take a while. But one thing is that it will just be like an instant thing when you get the results. And it take years of you putting in the work, the hard work, and it might just take a second for you to receive that good news, or receive that the result of what you wanted, of what you've always wanted. So it's just a thing of like, just keep believing, just keep going, because at the end of the day, like, you have to get what you want. You have to believe that you have to get what you want. If you're someone who if you something you truly want, then of course you have to keep going, even if you don't, even if you feel like you don't deserve it. And I think sometimes people have this mentality where they feel like you have to believe that you deserve something to have it. No, I feel like when you want something, you wanting it is already an evidence that you feel like you deserve it. Because I mean, there's a reason why you want something. It's because of course something, a part of you feels like you deserve it. So it's like, even if you don't feel like you deserve it, just keep showing up, just consistently put in the work, consistently believe, consistently think positive thoughts. Of course there are times when, like, you have your doubts and think negatively, but it's about you coming back and choosing that positive thoughts, coming back and choosing to still keep going even when you don't see the progress, or you're not seeing the results. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, it's not the day that you plant a seed that you're going to see the fruit. You know, you can wake up one day after working out for years, and then you just see that things have changed around you. You're actually getting what you want, like, and it just happens so quickly. And when it happens quickly, it feels like it comes at once as well, because it's like, wait, it's been quiet for years, and then all of a sudden it's just this amazing noise. I won't call it a bad noise, but it's like a loud amazing noise of the things you've always wanted flowing into your life. But guys, let me just cut this short. But that's all I have for you guys today. Just make sure you don't give up and just keep going, even if you don't see anything yet, because it is an illusion. You're not seeing anything, it's an illusion. Things are actually working behind the scenes, and that's actually the truth. Sometimes you don't, like, you yourself, you're growing by constantly doing the thing you want. things are moving behind the scenes, things that you don't know, like opportunities are being created that have not even appeared yet. So it's like there's just a lot happening and you don't know that, but your job is just to stay disciplined, keep doing what you're doing, keep believing, and you know, just keep going, because things can actually change in a blink of an eye. But that's all I have for you guys today. Just guys, make sure you're taking care of yourself, and make sure you're prioritizing yourself and prioritizing your mental health as well. And just don't entertain negative thoughts, because yeah, negative thoughts do try to like creep in. But of course, just make sure you're choosing the positive ones and keep going. And even when you feel like you've fallen into that negative hole, it's okay, just get back up and keep going again. You get what I'm saying? But that is all I have for you guys today, and I will speak to you guys soon and see you guys next week. Yeah, make sure you take care of yourself and see you soon.